in that third round, and Crawford, it did catch the eye a little bit more, so Burns...
Full of shit. Is that just you being competitive, like when that happens? Or is it like...
I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him.
The recent altercation between Gervonta Davis and Terence Crawford has taken the internet by storm. The incident occurred while Tank and Lamont Roach were at a media event in New York. Crawford has since spoken out about what really happened, and during his explanation, he took a few jabs at Tank. Now, the boxing world is eagerly anticipating the next time these two will face off physically.
I don't like
it's not your cup of tea, that's just not
I don't like nothing about him. I don't like nothing about him. I just feel like, he just...
Right now, a fight between Terence Crawford and Devin Haney seems far from possible. Crawford is focused on a potential showdown with super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez, while Devin Haney remains in the lightweight division. Although the size difference makes it impossible for them to fight in the ring, the two did exchange some heated words on social media last month. It all started with a brief comment about the Ring Magazine Awards, which led to both Crawford and Haney going back and forth online. Despite the fact that their weight classes are worlds apart, this hasn't stopped the two from taking jabs at each other on social media.
The fight right now on the streets, I'll break your fucking neck. And that's on my kids. And you know it, I know it, in the whole...
What he can do as opposed to what he's about.
Right now, Gervonta "Tank" Davis is focused on his upcoming fight with Lamont Roach, where he'll be defending his World Boxing Association lightweight title on March 1st. However, Tank has made it clear that he's always ready for a verbal showdown. While the spotlight is on Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, Tank still has his own goals to achieve. Tank recently shared that his opinions about Davis were already formed long before their heated back and forth in January. The back and forth between them started over money, but things quickly got personal. While this kind of trash talk is common in combat sports, Crawford had already made up his mind about Tank long before the January exchange happened.
If Tank get to pick his opponent, he would do it. But Tank would never come from 35 to...
Got caught there though, Burns. Into that counter, yeah.
In a recent interview on Cigar Talk, Terence Crawford shared his thoughts on Gervonta "Tank" Davis. The conversation turned to Tank's habit of moving up in weight classes and choosing his opponents. The interviewer also mentioned the social media feud between the two, asking if it was just a clash between two highly competitive athletes at the top of their game. Crawford made it clear that his dislike for Tank goes beyond just competition. He said, "I just really don't like that dude. I just don't like him at all. I don't like anything about him." Crawford described Tank as an arrogant little dude who uses his success to protect himself, surrounded by security and aware of his status in the limelight. He added that while Tank acts tough in certain settings, he wouldn't behave the same way if the circumstances were different. However, Crawford didn't deny Tank's abilities as a boxer. He said, "He's a good boxer, I respect him as a fighter. He definitely has skills, power, and incredible boxing ability. But when it comes to Tank's personality and attitude, Crawford made it clear he wasn't a fan."
Fighting in the ring. If me and you was the fight, I'll...
Looked to land a left to the body there that burned. Yeah, a lot about...
Terence Crawford's praise for Gervonta "Tank" Davis' boxing skills didn't seem to soften the tension between them. In response to the interview, Tank shared a now-deleted post where he fired back, calling Crawford a raccoon and saying, "Damn, the guy they had interviewed, that raccoon." And, "Damn, the raccoon will be in New York City in 2 weeks, no security. How about that?" Another topic likely to spark more tension between Crawford and Tank is the rising star Shakur Stevenson. The 27-year-old talent is set to return to the ring this weekend at the Last Crescendo. Much of the talk surrounding his comeback is focused on a potential future fight with Tank, which would certainly be one of the biggest bouts of the year. It's no surprise that Tank's camp is backing Stevenson for this potential matchup, given their history.
Dudes that's, using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards.
During the same interview, Terence Crawford shared his thoughts on how a potential fight would play out. He emphasized that while he may not like Tank Davis personally, he recognizes his talent in the ring. However, Crawford believes that Shakur Stevenson is a different kind of fighter. He said people may call Stevenson boring or question his punching power, but they said the same thing about Floyd Mayweather when he started. Crawford pointed out that, like Mayweather, Stevenson is a defensive fighter and that Tank wouldn't be able to land the same punches on Stevenson as he does on others. Recently, another name has joined the conversation, Keyshawn Davis. After his World Championship victory, Keyshawn has entered the mix and things are heating up even more. Keyshawn and Crawford's trainer Brian McIntyre have also called out Gervonta "Tank" Davis, adding more fuel to the fire. Meanwhile, Stevenson faced some disappointment recently when his opponent, Floyd Scofield, pulled out of their fight just days before it was set to happen due to an illness. It's been a tough moment for Stevenson, but he remains focused on his future.
Know what's up? You know what I mean? He know what he up against when he fights Shakur or Keyshawn. You know what I mean? He want to fight these guys that everybody in the world know that ain't gonna give him no fight. They not mentally there. You know what I mean? They might have a little.
From Crawford, there's always some little end product. No end product there from Burns as Crawford was too slick.
Shakur Stevenson will still take part in the big pay-per-view event in Saudi Arabia on February 22nd, but instead of facing Floyd Scofield, he'll defend his World Boxing Council World Lightweight title against Josh Padley. Padley, an English fighter with a 19-1 record, comes into this fight with momentum, having won 3 of his last 4 bouts by knockout. In his most recent match, Padley was the underdog, but managed to win by unanimous decision against Mark Chamberlain. This fight will be Padley's first shot at a world title after turning professional in 2019. He passed the weight check on Wednesday morning, just days before the big title fight. When asked about Scofield's sudden withdrawal from their scheduled fight, Stevenson shared his thoughts. He speculated that Scofield may have been struggling to make weight, saying, "I think this kid was battling to make the weight class. He probably had weight problems, and I think that was probably the issue." Stevenson added that instead of being honest, Scofield came up with various excuses for backing out. Stevenson also expressed his disappointment over the situation. He said he had given Scofield the opportunity to fight him, but felt disrespected by the challenger's withdrawal. "It felt like he slapped me in the face by pulling out," Stevenson said, clearly frustrated by the turn of events.
I've been thinking that since the fight started. I didn't really think it was going to be a possibility that they was going to accept the fight. So then when they accept the fight, they surprised me there. But then when they didn't show up to the press conference, I kind of had a...
That was one of the fast and going to be faster than Burns. Nice shot again.
Shakur Stevenson shared that he wanted to give Floyd Scofield the chance to make some serious money with their fight. He believed it could have been a great opportunity for Scofield, but unfortunately the fight fell through. In another notable moment, things got heated between Terence Crawford and Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Crawford recently talked about a potential fight between them during an appearance on The Breakfast Club, a popular radio show on New York's Power 105.1 FM. Crawford discussed how an unlikely fight between him and Tank could play out, despite the fact that Crawford had never lost a fight. Tank didn't hold back, boldly predicting that he would defeat the 3-weight world champion by knockout if they ever faced off in the ring.
I got a question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look? 147? 147.
A right hand from Burns. And again, nice left this time. She's going, but a lot of them around.
During an interview with Fight Hype, Terence Crawford responded to Gervonta "Tank" Davis's bold claim that he would knock him out if they fought. Crawford laughed off the comment and explained that Davis competes at lightweight for a reason. He said, "When you look at all the great fighters, they get called out by people from different weight classes, so it's nothing new. Everybody talks about what they would do, but Tank is where he's at for a reason. I don't see him moving up to 147 pounds to fight me anytime soon. He's just talking." Crawford made these comments while speaking with co-hosts Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy, making it clear that he didn't take Davis's words too seriously.
No, he going to sleep. I already know. I already know he ain't got no chance. I already know he is.
You said no chance.
I got round 5.
Terence Crawford acknowledged that Gervonta "Tank" Davis has a lot of confidence in himself, especially after knocking out the opponents he's faced. Crawford pointed out that Tank's success in the lightweight division gives him the belief that he could take on anyone. However, Crawford also made it clear that there are different levels in boxing. He said, "If Tank thinks he's just going to come up to 147 pounds and knock me out, he's in for a surprise." Crawford, at 35, has proven himself in the welterweight division, defeating all 8 of his opponents by knockout or technical knockout since moving up to 147 pounds 5 years ago. Before that, he relinquished his titles in the 140-pound division, including the International Boxing Federation, World Boxing Association, World Boxing Council, and World Boxing Organization belts to make the jump. Meanwhile, Tank Davis recently made a big statement when he defeated Garcia by dropping him twice in the 2nd and 7th rounds during their Showtime pay-per-view event on April 22nd at T-Mobile Arena.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to...
It is tough to tag cleanly, Crawford.
Terence Crawford made a strong statement about the idea of facing Gervonta "Tank" Davis in the ring. He pointed out that Davis, who has knocked out 93% of his opponents, would have to move up 2 weight classes to fight him. Crawford also mentioned that while defeating Davis wouldn't bring him much credit due to the size difference, the fight would still be a huge money-making opportunity. Crawford, who stands nearly 3 inches taller than Davis, explained that the potential payday would be enough to make him consider the fight if it were ever offered. Crawford's thoughts were in reference to Davis's recent victory over Errol Spence. In that fight, Crawford sent Spence to the canvas for the first time in Spence's 10-year career during the 2nd round, and then dropped him twice more in the 7th round, ultimately securing a 9th-round technical knockout.
Great. He can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes and, daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man,
Terence Crawford spoke about the possibility of fighting Gervonta "Tank" Davis, saying he would be willing to stay at 147 pounds for a big money fight against him. However, Crawford expressed that even if he defeated Davis, many people would not give him credit. He explained, "It's a big money fight, but then everyone will say he's too small. They'll just say, you beat up a little guy who fights at 135. Tank's only 5'5", so he's a smaller guy. He can punch, but that's in his weight class. I'm not saying he can't hit in any weight class, because we've seen him knock people out. But what credit would I get for beating Tank?" A lot of people don't realize how big of a jump it is from 135 to 147 pounds. It's almost 20 pounds, well, 12 pounds, but it's still a big difference.
He got to come to win 54.
He said, I got a glass chin, so tell him come and touch it.
Wow, man.
Expecting this round.
In an unexpected turn, Crawford is about to make the same leap he once discussed with Gervonta Davis about his career moves and future goals. During his appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, Crawford spoke about the possibility of fighting Canelo Alvarez. He said, "This is my moment and I'm taking it. Nobody's going to stop me." Now that he's made a shift in his career, Crawford made it clear that he wants to fight Canelo. "I've always said that's a big step," he noted. "For a fighter to move up 3 weight classes from 147 to 160 pounds and win, becoming undisputed? What else can they say about that?" Crawford reflected on his accomplishments, mentioning that he's a 3-time undisputed champion and the smaller fighter who took on one of the toughest guys in the sport, a fighter who's been dominating for probably longer than Crawford himself. The whole discussion started when the reigning champion, Crawford, seemed upset that he wasn't invited to the 2024 Ring Magazine Awards, where many of boxing's top stars and legends gathered to honor the best in the business. The event was held at the historic Old Royal Naval College in London, with names like Alexander Usyk, Canelo Alvarez, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, and Lennox Lewis on the guest list. The Ring magazine, now owned by LK, shared an iconic photo from the event on their social media. Davis took that same photo from Matchroom Boxing's Instagram and posted it with a caption harshly criticizing the people who were there. "Why didn't they ask everybody?" Davis questioned in his post. "But they invited the people they work with. Get out of here. Stop playing," he continued, calling out one of the individuals in the photo. "Look at this little rat, acting like he's come up on something. Tell them all to fight each other since they've got such a heavy squad."
You know why I said that? Because he was already talking like he was backing Devin. Like, Devin's my guy. Like, all right, cool. Y'all want me to fight over?
He's looking for rangefinders at the moment. Nice little right hand to the body.
And Ricky's just done that.
Davis was very vocal about his thoughts, saying that people are pretending this guy is great for boxing, when in reality, he's not even good at the basics. He questioned why this person isn't helping build up the talent in his own community if he's really so skilled. According to Davis, this guy clearly doesn't understand boxing, and he feels like everyone is just ignoring that fact. Davis didn't hold back when it came to criticizing fighters who have gone to Saudi Arabia to make huge money from events like the Riyadh season. He laughed and pointed out that these fighters have to go all the way over there just to make a paycheck, and even then, they're still struggling. He made it clear that where he's from in America, people don't need to travel far to earn a living.
Send me something first.
Yeah.
Send me something first.
Right.
I don't gotta fight. You know why fighters going over there? Because they can't sell here. I can sell here. So I ain't gotta go over there.
Word out of the Crawford camp was that their man Steam, that could be a red herring, because as you say, Jim.
Some people are going over to Saudi Arabia getting beaten up and fighting in front of small crowds of just 19 people, but because they're making a lot of money, it's all seen as fine. Honestly, this approach doesn't reflect well on Tank Davis. I fully support his decision to stick to his principles. If he chooses not to fight in Saudi Arabia, that's his choice. However, criticizing other fighters who are working hard to network, make business moves, and enjoy their success seems more like jealousy than genuine concern for the sport. Terence Crawford had something to say about this, tweeting, "I see somebody mad they weren't invited to the Ring Magazine gala," followed by a laughing emoji. He then explained that he remembered not being invited at one point, but by that time, things were already in motion. Davis responded, "I still make more than you. He then added, "Y'all think he's chasing greatness? He's not. That's what he has to do to make good money."
At the moment, nice little right hand to the body.
And Ricky's just done that with that right hand. That was clever. A good start.
Despite the ongoing feud between Tank Davis, Terence Crawford, and Tyson Fury, Davis hasn't ruled out the possibility of fighting in Saudi Arabia. However, he made it clear that they will need to meet his conditions first. Tyson Fury has placed a big bet on boxing in Saudi Arabia, bringing major fights to the region. The most recent deal he secured for the Riyadh season was with Canelo Alvarez. The Mexican fighter signed a deal to fight 4 times for them, with 3 of those bouts taking place in Riyadh and 1 in Las Vegas. The Las Vegas fight is reportedly set for September against Terence Crawford.
Talk about the Turkey Al-Sheikh. So obviously people got stupid money in Saudi Arabia. Hence why all those boxers are lining themselves over there. You said that certain boxers were, dick eating for aligning themselves.
Arab investors have been pouring a lot of money into boxing, almost like they're treating it as a video game in career mode. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk earned the biggest paydays of their careers after fighting in Saudi Arabia. At first, Gervonta Davis wasn't tempted by the massive amounts of money Saudi Arabia could offer, but it seems he's starting to change his mind. In a conversation on the Safe Place podcast, he said, "That's when I realized what was going on. So now I'm thinking, all right, give me 2, 3, or 4 Ferraris."
With them, are you just not interested in fighting over there?
It's not that, but they came at me wrong the first time they ever came at me, which they said I will fight Devin. And then when he was saying like Devin was his guy, so I'm like, if Devin your guy.
It is tough to tag cleanly, Crawford, being very...
He also mentioned that they had reached out to him before, but he doesn't have much trust in how they operate. He said, "They told me I would fight Devin, and then they said Devin was their chosen one. So I figured if Devin is their chosen one now, they're going to have to pay me extra. Because I already know what I'm up against. If I don't knock him out, they'll give the fight to him."
I gotta pay me now, extra, like, cause I already know what I'm coming over there. You feel me? I gotta get the knockout. If not, y'all gonna give it to him. So that's what made me like, oh yeah, I see what's going on. So now, give me 2 or 4 or 3 Ferraris. If not, ain't no point in me going over there for.
Hasn't done anything.
The 30-year-old boxer recently wrapped up a discussion on a podcast where he showed respect for what Tank Davis has accomplished in the sport. However, he also shared his thoughts on areas for improvement, emphasizing the importance of being smarter and having a deeper understanding of the sport to ensure fair fights. Davis, who is 30, will face Roe, who is 29, on March 1st. This will be Davis's second defense of his World Boxing Association title.
Are you losing the love for the sport? How many times do you want to get in the ring next year if it was your choice? 3 times. 3? So 3 fights for sure. Every time, every time.
The referee letting both fighters know that...
Right hand from Burns as he's walked onto a right hand as well. Yeah.
Tank Davis recently shared that he plans to retire from boxing after next year. But why is the 30-year-old eager to step away from the sport? What about the fans and the excitement of putting on a great show for them? It seems that, for Davis, the thrill of boxing is starting to fade. In an interview with Fight Hub TV, he opened up about his decision to retire and shared his honest thoughts on why he's ready to move on from the ring.
Fight Tank, both of them. How about a homecoming fight?
You lost the love?
The 30-0 record holder openly admitted that he lost interest in the sport and grew frustrated with it. He even went as far as to say, "It's trash. This sport is trash, garbage. I'm fed up with the whole sport." These strong feelings may not sit well with most boxing fans, especially those who have pushed for him to face tougher competition and fight the best in his division. Despite this, Davis has found satisfaction in making smart decisions, earning money, and doing what he enjoys most, knocking out his opponents. The big question is, how will fans remember the Baltimore native, and how will they evaluate his legacy? Davis addressed this when he spoke with Fight Hype. When asked if he saw himself as one of the greatest, the WBA champion said, "I don't even care about that, bro. I don't even care about that. Where I'm from, I will forever be the best. I will be a forever G to myself." While fans have only a limited time to enjoy Davis's exciting fights and signature backflips in the ring, it doesn't mean his upcoming fight with Ryan Garcia Jr. will be his last.
You look like you were like Talking about retirement was not even discussed at this moment, and now it's something you keep on repeating. Is it just because obviously what you've done?
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better.
He might be able to fit in a few more fights in 2025 before he officially ends his professional boxing career. What's interesting is that the lightweight champion is still under a multi-fight contract with the PBC, which covers about 6 or 7 more bouts. On top of that, there's reportedly a clause in his contract that requires him to face Shakur Stevenson at some point. For the latest updates on news, events, and exciting moments in the boxing world, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you'll be the first to know when we drop new, high-quality content like this. Until next time, take care and peace out.